together today to do a video that I literally did not know when I would actually ever film and ever put on my YouTube channel. Like, I am telling you, this story is 2 years overdue. Just a quick PSA before we start though, ignore any outside noises that you hear right now. I've been trying to find the perfect setup to film this video for like an hour now. I give up. This is the best we're getting. I tried filming in my car, did not work. You're just gonna hear birds and lawnmowers and shit outside, so ignore that. I just like still can't believe I'm about to do this. 2 years ago, I was a fucking dumbass. Like, Coachella is literally almost the reason that I lost my high school diploma. Like, cannot believe that. So without further ado, let's get into this disaster, this scandal, this literal probably greatest story time that I might ever tell on my channel.
Let's have a little fun today.
I am 20 years old now, but 2 years ago, I was in my senior year of college. What the fuck am I saying? High school. I didn't go to college. I was in my senior year of high school, and seniors in the high school that I went to were given a choice to either finish the last 2 months of senior year in school, or we could do this thing called senior project, which basically you had like 2 months off of school to intern for literally whatever you wanted, wherever in the world, and you had to do a project on it for like credits to graduate, and that was like considered a class in your last quarter of high school. I hated high school so much, so this was like the perfect opportunity to just get out 2 months early, meaning that I would have all of April and most of May not even going to my school like once. Now, if you were here because you remember the original story time that I made about what I did for my senior project and how I went to Coachella and Disney World and Playlist Live Orlando, which is a YouTube convention if you don't know, I made a whole story time about this 2 years ago, literally right after I graduated high school, about how I faked my entire internship and passed in a complete bullshit fucking presentation and went out of my way to lie and just fake a whole entire internship just to do what I wanted and to finally be like done with high school. It was like the craziest story time ever, and I had a lot of balls posting it because I generally thought that nothing would happen. I was just so naive and I was so arrogant. The tone of the video was not good at all. You know, I was so immature and I had a very, very terrible high school experience. I mean, kids in high school are just mean, they're brutal, especially when it comes to someone who has interest in like concerts or social media. I was already doing YouTube at the time, so you know, I literally had like no friends in high school. I just had my one friend Jake, and it was kind of just me and him against the world, and we kind of did our own thing in high school and just kind of bullshitted our way through the last year. I mean, I bullshitted my way through 4 years of high school, but senior year was definitely just like a force because I wasn't going to college and I was going to try to pursue YouTube full time, even though I didn't even have 10,000 subscribers yet by the time that I made the decision to not go to college and to just focus my time and energy on, you know, something that I love and like try to take a risk and not do college because college is not for me. That's just like a little backstory of my attitude towards high school. It was not good. People did not like me. I did not like people, and I had reasons to literally hate everyone in my high school. You know, I just could not wait for high school to be over and just have all the time in the world, put all my energy, blood, sweat, and tears into something I actually enjoy. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown of what I did for my senior project and how I basically scammed my high school. Recap everything that I said in that video 2 years ago if you never caught it. So basically, most people in my high school were doing internships like at the police station, random businesses in Boston, or maybe like at a vet. I don't know. All just like very basic things. You had to do like 80 hours with proof of the internship that you were doing. When it was time for senior project and it was time for us to pick like what we were doing, I am very much like a loophole person and I don't focus on things and cannot put any energy into things that I don't fucking care about. I'm just very stubborn when it comes to things like that. I live in East Bumfuck, Massachusetts. You know, I don't live near anything entertainment related, and I love the entertainment industry and the music industry so much. So I was not going to be able to do like an internship at like the police station like most people were. I just could not do that, and there was no way in hell that I was going to put 80 hours into that. But at the same time, I wasn't gonna just not do the senior project and not get those last 2 months off of school. The time that this senior project started was literally right before 2018 Coachella and Playlist Live. They were all in the same month, all in that April. I wanted nothing more than to end my senior year by going to Coachella and, you know, just finally experiencing it. Beyonce was headlining, The Weeknd, Eminem. The lineup was just absolutely fucking insane, and I wanted to go more than anything. For your senior project, you were not allowed to use it as like vacation at all. And if you were caught using it as vacation, you would get kicked out of the program and you'd be forced to come back to school and just do regular classes until senior year ended. So I was gonna find my way around it because I needed to find an internship that would let me go to Coachella and go to playlists and be with my friends and go do fun things and go do all the fucking fun ass crazy things that I've always dreamed of doing right then and there. I didn't want to wait anymore. I was like, this is my calling in life. I want to do this shit. I want my life to begin now. It was my job to find an internship that somehow would be absolutely perfect, let me do every single thing that I want while also like passing high school and finishing this last class and like whatever. So I was on Indeed.com trying to find an internship for someone like either in New York or New Jersey or Connecticut that could be kind of like online-ish, even though the internship was supposed to be in person. I was trying to find something that I could meet in the middle. Long story short, I found this lady whose name I don't even remember at this point, and she was setting up like a media company and was building like a workspace in New York that was gonna be for like people who are creative, like YouTubers and artists and singers and whatever the heck. She was basically building a space for people to come and like pay like a monthly little membership and get a ton of access to like equipment that they can't really afford on their own and just have like a space to be creative. So long story short, this lady agreed to be my senior project advisor and that I was gonna do my project for her. This lady was just like very sketch, but in the beginning, before she became very sketchy, she was a very nice lady and she was young. She was probably about 25. So I feel like we related a lot when it came to like YouTube or something. Like she wanted to do Instagram. She had like a clothing business, but now she was doing like a side hustle of creating this like creative space in New York. And she needed someone who was trying to work firsthand in this space too to help her get this started. She didn't really have a lot of money to back this, so she needed someone like me who would help her spread the word like for free and just kind of be like her partner in crime for this. So I was like, totally, that's me. So I told my school that I was gonna be helping this woman in New York set up this creative space and I was gonna be in New York basically for my senior project. And I was just gonna be going back and forth from New York for basically a month and a half is what I told them, and that I would be helping this lady set up a little workshop creative space in New York. That was good with my school. They were like, okay, totally, just do what you have to do. At the beginning of this internship, I was genuinely going to do the internship. I was genuinely going to help this lady. She seemed really awesome and I was actually really excited to start going to New York for a few days at a time. She started to become a little sketchy very quickly, right as senior project was like getting the ball rolling, because for senior project, the first 2 weeks of it, you're doing everything in class at the school and then you're finally like let free for the next 2 months to go do your internship. And during the 2 weeks at school, when I was just like starting it off and starting to do the project at school on my computer, you had to do a lot of like communicating, and she was kind of hard to get a hold of, but it didn't really bother me because when I did get a hold of her and when we did talk on FaceTime and email or whatever, it was very official. It would just kind of take a minute to get in touch with her. So it didn't really worry me that much and I got everything done. As the official date for us to leave high school started to get closer, I had already had my Coachella ticket. I already had like a whole grand scheme plan in the back of my head for how I was gonna go to Coachella and have it be like okay with this lady. She actually brought up Coachella to me first before I ever did and was like kind of just bluffing and was like, I have connections to Coachella, like I can probably get you a wristband or something this year and like I could send you there and you could like hand out little contact cards to people at Coachella and like just network with people at like all the brand parties before the festival and at the festival. She was asking me like what my ideas were for spreading her brand and her company to like as many people as possible, and I was telling her about this YouTube convention that was happening in April that I think that we could both go to and like set up a booth there and do a ton of networking, that would be a great idea. She agreed about that, and then I also told her about Coachella, that like going there and handing out like little business cards or whatever the fuck, because there's so many brand parties and networking parties before and after the actual festival. I'm gonna try to summarize this as fast as possible because, you know, I already had a whole video in the past dedicated towards this and it's a long story, but I want to try to get to the gist of it. So this lady was bluffing at the beginning of the internship and basically told me that she had all these connections. She had people who worked for Coachella and like X, Y, and Z and all these really cool things, everything that I was ever interested in more. She told me that she was gonna get me a Coachella pass and she was gonna send me to the festival, which was literally incredible because I was trying to find an internship that I could like sneak off to Coachella or try to find a way to like weave that into my internship as it is. Like that was like my goal, and she literally brought it up first. So I was like, cool, great, whatever. She ended up flaking with that, but told me that if I wanted to buy a Coachella ticket or whatever, she would send me with all these things and all these business cards and everything to like hand out at Coachella, and just like that would be like my work for her for the week. You had to do like 15-20 hours of work a week, and I had to like document that I was actually at Coachella for work. It obviously was kind of sketchy trying to explain explain to like my school and like my teacher why I was going to Coachella for an internship and how this was possible at all. But somehow I did it and they were like, okay, cool, you can go. This lady never gave me any business cards to hand out at the festival. She was just really hard to communicate with, and I was barely even hearing from her when I was at Coachella at all. I kept asking her like just for like ideas and everything because I was kind of confused why she literally didn't even send me to Coachella with business cards, because I thought that she would want me, I don't know. It's all very confusing, but basically I tried to do something for her company during Coachella, but it didn't end up happening at all because she was just not communicating with me. And I was like, whatever, I was in the desert, kind of bad service anyways. So I talked to her after Coachella and like just, we caught up and talked about the next moves for the rest of the month, which was Playlist Orlando. Fast forward 2 weeks, I go to Playlist Orlando. She doesn't end up coming or anything. We don't end up getting a booth for her company like she said she wanted to. So now I'm just at Playlist Orlando, like once again for my own enjoyment, but I was supposed to go on behalf of her and actually have a job to do there. Like I was supposed to get a pass to the event and all this stuff, and she sent me with nothing and couldn't get a hold of, you know, anything useful for her company at all. So I was like, what the fuck is going on at this point? That weekend, I ended up having a breakdown because I was halfway through my internship at this point and I had done nothing. I haven't even met this lady yet. Every single time we tried to plan for me to come to New York, she would flake or say she was busy this week. We were already halfway through the internship and I was like forging signatures on papers because I was supposed to be with her the entire time, and she like gave me permission to forge her name and like say that I did this day and this day for her and this week for her and all this stuff. None of it was true. I literally had done just about nothing for her company at this point, even though I kept begging her, what do you want me to do? Because now I've just gone to Coachella, once again, was supposed to go on behalf of her and do stuff for her, go to events, whatever. Literally didn't do any of that because she gave me no information. Now I'm at Playlist Orlando, nothing. And so I'm kind of just like, okay, I was using this internship and the fact that I wanted to go to both these events, and I was gonna tie them together so that I could actually be like, you know, doing a literal internship, but also like doing what I wanted to do and just like living my best life, whatever the fuck. But obviously it got to the point where I was just on vacation at this point, and this lady literally just kind of stopped answering me halfway through the month of my internship. I never heard from her again, and I was just fucking panicking because I could not get a hold of her. I was calling her off different phones, emailing her off different emails. Her phone number like was completely shut off. I literally think she was using like a fake phone for this business, and I never heard from her again. I needed so much stuff from her to be able to graduate and just so much proof that I did an actual internship to be able to pass this class. So, you know, I had to get street smart real fast to pass this class because I could have gone to my school and been like, hey, the past like half month, I have done nothing for the internship that I was supposed to because my lady is like a flake. She won't meet up with me. This space that she kept saying she had reserved in New York for like meetings that she wanted me and a ton of other people working for her, always pulled out last minute whenever we had like a set date for me to like go and do work for her in real life. Like I was gonna take a bus back and forth the same day, which is like 8 hours round trip. You know, I had bus tickets booked to New York multiple times, and every single time she either flaked or didn't answer, and I didn't get on the bus because I didn't just want to show up to New York at this, you know, alleged workspace and just no one be there. So a ton of sketchy shit. I just didn't want to tell my school that because I would be so fucked and I would have to go to school for the next month and a half and just make up all this, and I don't even know. I can't even imagine what would have happened. I was like, okay, I have to find a loophole here, and I just started forging all the papers that I had that I was supposed to be handing into school and sending them online. I was making up stories of like what I did this week for this lady. Bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, because at that point I didn't have a choice. This lady was just absolutely full of shit, and I have not heard from her since this whole thing went down. Maybe she just didn't have the funds to back anything she was saying up. Maybe she was just talking out of her ass. Whatever it was, the company that she had was not real. To pass this class, you have to do a 15-minute presentation on your internship with pictures from it and like proof of you just doing everything for whatever you interned for. I officially was realizing, you know, a few weeks before it was time for my presentation, I had to make up a whole internship up. I had to literally create A to Z an entire internship that did not exist for me to get through this class. I created a whole PowerPoint and everything. I ordered fake business cards for her company, took random pictures online from past events that she did and pretended that I was at them. Long story short, I presented a whole entire fake internship to teachers at my school, and I even have a recording that I put in the story time from before of literally me presenting it. Like I hid my phone during the presentation and recorded the whole fucking thing, and it's literally like a 15-minute video of me just bullshitting, just literally lying to all these teachers, lying to like my favorite teacher in the world, my principal, everything. It's pretty bad. I did what I had to do to just safely get out of this situation and, you know, the mess that I accidentally got myself in because this lady was a sketchball. I did what I had to do to just finish that class. So I lied about everything. So that whole whole week waiting for my grade for the whole internship and just waiting to actually graduate was just all like a big adrenaline rush and a blur. The only person in the school that knew that my internship was fake was Jake, and we literally just could not believe how good my lie was, how convincing my story was, and he was the only person that knew. It was just insane. I got like a 95 on the whole project. Before you know it, I was done. I had passed senior project with a literal fake internship and did everything that month that I ever wanted to do. I even went to like 2 Justin Timberlake concerts, like fucking love him. I don't even remember what else I did, but I just remember that April 2018 was the best and the most stressful month of my whole life. Part of me wouldn't change it for the world, but the other part of me is like, damn, how the story ends, like, I was just a fucking negligent teen. That is how that story time ended, and I posted a whole 30-minute video about all that in July. I was just in such like a devious mindset after graduating high school and getting away with all this. I remember throughout my internship, like, I would always hear from kids at school, they were like, how the fuck did she get an internship to go to Coachella? Like, of course she did. People were kind of suspicious, but at the same time, people were, at the end of the day, just jealous. So I just remember being like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, because people were starting rumors about my internship. I just could not even live with the fact that summer that me and Jake were the only people that knew. And I was just in such a, once again, a devious mindset and wanted everyone at my high school to know. And I was just on my high horse about it. So I decided to make a story time thinking that nothing would ever happen from it and that my school would never see it. And that, like, I don't know. I generally don't know why I ever posted that in the first place, thinking that my school wouldn't see it. And I remember responding to comments after I posted it and people being like concerned, and I was like, no, I'll never get in trouble, like whatever. At the end of the day, of course someone was gonna send it to the school, but I was just so convinced that I was gonna get away with it, and that for some reason every single person that hated me in high school wasn't gonna do anything about it, and everyone was gonna be mature and like move on, even though I'm over here posting a video that was not mature like at all. Post that in July, nothing happened, didn't really hear much from anyone in my high school about it. Obviously got a few texts here and there. The video was doing so good and I was feeling good. I was like, hell yeah. Everyone was like, this is the sickest story ever, like, can't believe you did this. And it was my first video to ever reach over 100,000 views. So I was just feeling absolutely incredible. This is the part of the story that no one knows about. This is just the part that I've been dying to tell you guys for 2 years now. That summer was just very confusing for me because I officially had no idea what I was doing with my life. You know, I finally had the freedom that I always wanted. I had all the time in the world to do everything that I love, which is like YouTube and traveling and everything. I was just kind of like a lost puppy that summer because everyone was going off to college and I had no idea what I was doing. I told everyone that like I was moving to LA, but at the end of the day, I had no money back then. So how the fuck was I moving to LA? You know, I wasn't going off to college in LA. I just had no plan yet. But my friend Jake was going to college in LA. And like, he was just like my best friend for my high school. And it was just me and him every single day because we lived in the same town. We were very close to each other. So we were hanging out all day, every day. And it came to the end of the summer where he was getting ready to move to LA and go to college out there. I started just getting very like panicked because most people had already left for college already. Even though he was the only one that I hung out with from my town, I was just kind of feeling this like weird like loneliness and like confused like feeling like my brothers were getting ready to go back to school that fall and everyone that I graduated with was all off in college now, and Jake's school started really late in like mid-September, so it was kind of just me and him in my town. School had started back up. I was getting ready to say goodbye to him, and it was a very weird time because everyone was officially leaving. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was about to lose like my best friend. The day comes, it's our last day together before he moves to LA, and I just remember crying the whole day. He leaves and I just crashed. September 2018 is the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life. Like, that was not a fun month at all. I like could not get out of bed. I finally got on like antidepressants and everything because I was just an absolute mess. I couldn't even do YouTube because I just could not post. I couldn't like push through it. I was just a disaster. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. Just being stuck in my town, I started to realize that like I really missed this one teacher at my high school, and she wasn't really even a teacher. She was like the high school receptionist, but she was like the reason that like me and Jake had like a good senior year because she just got us. I just clung on to her because she really cared about our interests and really like just like embraced how different we were from everyone else and just genuinely liked what we had to say. Like in September, it kind of hit me like, oh, I'm not going to high school again. She was a very close adult in my life and I no longer was going to get to see her every day. It's this random day in September and I wake up, don't know what I'm doing for the day. So I decide like I'm going to go try to surprise as this teacher right now. I get in my car and I drive to my high school. I still to this day don't know why I chose that day and that time to go, because I'd been thinking about going to visit her and surprise her for the past 3 weeks that high school had started back up again. But I finally decided, like, okay, I really need to see this lady. I really need to surprise her. I'm gonna try to go at the end of school, see if like they'll just let me in the building to go say hi to just her. Like, I don't want to go into any classrooms. I really just want to see the receptionist. Okay, this is the craziest thing, I swear to God, that has literally ever happened to me. So I walk into school, I go into the office, and you have to like sign in and everything before you actually get to enter the school. So I asked one of the front desk ladies if I can go to the first floor office and go see the receptionist, and they're like, no, you can't, like, you're literally like legally not allowed to, like, you graduated, like, you can't go see like this lady. And I'm like, but I don't want to go into any classes, like, school's literally ending in like 15 minutes, like, I'm not going to disturb anyone, I just want to see this lady before she goes home. They were like, no, you can't. And so I was just sitting there like all defeated and everything, and I was like, damn, like, I just look like an idiot. Like, I just showed back up to high school after I graduated to see a receptionist and they won't let me. And I was like, I get it, but I just looked like a fucking idiot. So I was standing there, and that front desk lady was calling the receptionist upstairs to tell her that I was here and wanted to see her, you know, ruining the surprise, whatever. And so I'm standing there and I'm waiting for her. Out of the corner of my eye, I see my principal walk out of his office. Oh my God, I can't even, like, just reliving this is just so insane. So he walks out of the office and goes, what? And I turn around, I'm like, oh my God, like, hi, Mr. I'm not gonna tell you his real name. He literally is like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I was gonna go see blank. He just gave me this really weird look, and I could tell that like something was about to happen. I could tell that I was not leaving this school anytime soon. He goes, can you come into my office? And is just giving me the weirdest energy ever. And I was like, yeah, sure. And we were so close in high school. Like, when I tell you that this was like the greatest principal that you could ever have in your life, like, he really, really cared about the students. Me and Jake were always just being so extra and like causing like dumb problems and just, I don't know, but he just like, he really got us, and he had like a soft spot for me and him. So I walk into his office and he goes, I need you to go to my desk right now and tell me what that piece of paper at my chair says. So I'm like, okay. I go to his desk and I pick up the fucking paper on his desk, and at the top of it literally says, to-do list for after school. Number 1, call Caitlin Ray's parents. And I look at him and I know I'm done for. I just start crying. I know what's coming. He has seen the video and something is about to happen. He's just like, can you come, like, just sit here for a second? So we go and we just like sit, and I'm just fucking sobbing. And he's like, just tell me why you made that video and why you did what you did. And he was just being so kind and so gentle, and I'm just sobbing and explaining everything because, you know, in the video I did really emphasize the fact that I tried to do the internship, but this lady like ghosted me and I just could not do it, but I really wanted to go to these things, and I just did what I had to do that I thought I had to do at the time to just get out of that disaster that I accidentally got myself in. He was just like, I don't even know how to say this, but the town is trying to take your diploma away, and we were in the midst of talking about taking you to court. They were just trying to like take that credit away and take my diploma away, I guess. And I was just like, oh shit, what? And he's like, yeah, like, we're in the middle of trying to take your diploma away. Like, I was calling your parents. This was at 2 o'clock this happened, and it literally said on that piece of paper, like, 2:05, call Caitlin Ray's parents. Like, he was literally gonna call them in 5 minutes to take my diploma away or whatever the fuck. He was just like, Caitlin, like, I didn't even hear you out there in the office, in like the open office or anything. Something in like my head just told me, like, you need to step out of your office and like go for a walk right now. He just kept saying over and over, like, something was telling me to just walk out of my office. Like, I've been in my office all day, like, I haven't really done anything. Something was telling me right then and there, step out. And I literally step out and you're right there. He was like, the face that I just made when I saw you, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, yeah, holy shit. And I was like, you literally didn't hear me? He was like, no, something in my head was just telling me to walk out there right now. He was like, why did you come to school today? And I was like, I wanted to see the receptionist. Like, I just wanted to say hi. Like, I had no like bad intentions or anything. And he was like, I just can't believe that you just showed up 5 minutes before, like, I was about to ruin your life. And I was like, yeah, I can't believe that either. Once again, I had been thinking for like weeks to show up and just surprise her. And I finally chose that day at that time for whatever reason to go. 5 minutes, 5 literal minutes before my life was about to get ruined. We just kept talking and he was just like, you know, I don't want to share his personal story on the internet, but you know, he believes in like signs and second chances and whatever. Like he's a great principal and you know, I believe in all that spiritual shit too. And we both came to like the conclusion that like this all just happened for a reason. I just showed up for some reason. Like everything just like matched so weirdly. He was just telling me how everything went down, how he found the video. Kids obviously sent it to him, telling me how this has been like a big commotion, trying to get back into the new school year, but now they're dealing with me and all the kids are talking about my video, whatever. And he was telling me that like I absolutely just hurt my favorite teacher in the world, not the receptionist, my favorite like real teacher. And he was just like, he's so disappointed in you, like so am I. My heart was just broken. Like I really fucking hurt people that cared about me and always went out of their way to like just take care of me throughout high school. I could not believe just how arrogant and dumb and selfish I was. You know, we sat there for another half hour and I was just crying and we were just talking about everything. He came to the conclusion that he was gonna call off everything. He really thought that I had learned my lesson and I did. That day, to this day, has like changed my life. I still cry about it. Like I could literally cry about it right now because I just had never fucked up so badly like that and I was just being a little piece of shit. I deleted it like right in front of his face. I just kept apologizing. We ended up just having like a great conversation because he started asking like how YouTubers make money, like brand deals and everything. And at that time I had just signed for like my first brand deal ever. I was doing a $500 brand deal and I was so excited about it because I'd never done a paid one before. He was like, you're making like $500 off a brand deal? Like, whoa. I was like, yeah, like so excited. And I was telling him all about my plans for the future and everything. He just sent me off just being like, I really think that the timing today was just so weird. I think everything happened the way it needed to. I've never been in such a bizarre situation in my life. Like once again, like something in my head was just telling me, walk out of the office right now. And then he walked out and I was standing there as he was about to fucking ruin my life. So I just remember walking out of that office and I went to my car and I was just like scream crying while everyone left school for the day. I'm like hiding in my car. I can't even drive because I can't believe that everything in my life was about to be taken away. I just like really don't know what he was actually exactly going to say to my parents and what exactly was going to happen. Moral of the story, my life was literally going to be ruined. So I called Jake, I tell him the whole thing and we're just screaming, crying. I messaged a few of the teachers that were like firsthand involved in my senior project. I apologized to like the main teacher that I genuinely love so much. My principal also said like, as wrong as it was, like what you did, you were so smart about it that it's almost incredible. The way that I just carried it all out was just very like kind of smart. Like actually, like, I'll give myself that credit. Right after I got home from this whole experience, I was in my room and this was literally not even an hour after I deleted the video. I had someone comment on my Instagram, where did your I Scam My High School story time go? I think I even have a screenshot of it because I was like, oh my god, that video's been gone for an hour and people have already noticed. Imagine how many DMs and tweets and comments I've gotten over the past 2 years about this video. People have been dying to know what the fuck happened for 2 years and I think I just needed to like grow up and mature and really learn from this fucked up thing that I did before I told everyone what ended up happening. It's just very funny because after this, whenever I ran into someone from my town, I just knew that they knew all about this. I mean, this whole story spread like wildfire. I was kind of just like a legend for doing this. Once again, I think I gave myself enough time to really learn from my mistakes and realize that relationships with people that I genuinely care about in my life are more important than fucking ruining them on the internet. Everything was just a mess. That lady should have never wasted my time. I should have had a real internship, but once again, I thought I had a real internship, but I'm also very at fault for how I handled it. Yes, finding loopholes in life can be great and fucking be wonderful and lead you to Coachella, but if you're hurting people in the process of doing something for yourself, if you step back from something and realize that the people that you're about to hurt, you really genuinely care about, why are you trying to hurt them in the first place? Like, I just should have never done that. I should have just never posted that video and just graduated high school and leave it at that, and I shouldn't have jeopardized any of those relationships. So that, for those who have been asking for the past 2 years, is what happened to my I scanned my high school and went to Coachella story time and how it turned into, and I almost lost my diploma and went to court because I scanned my high school and went to Coachella. My luck is very weird. It's always bad, but it also is very good. So this is just an example of how weird my good luck is, and I literally had a horseshoe lodged up my asshole that day that literally just led me to my high school at that exact day, at that that exact time. My principal walked out 5 minutes before he was gonna ruin my fucking life. Oh my god, I still can't believe this. I hope you enjoyed finally hearing this story time. And if you never heard the original one, I hope you followed this okay. I don't really know how to end this. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you never hear from me again, it's probably because my diploma actually got taken away now. I promise I just wanted to share this story for good reasons and to show you personal growth. That's why I didn't tell the story when it happened. Don't hurt people you love. Don't be an idiot. Certainly go to Coachella whenever it happens again. Go to Playlist Live. Great YouTube convention. Had a blast. Would love to meet you guys there next year. See you guys in my next video. Peace out.
Bitch on geek though, boy you